Welcome back to another edition of F Around and Find Out, of course, brought to you by President Donald J. Trump. Only Donald Trump is a man who can sleep at night while telling people on the campaign trail how much he loves them and then doing exactly what they don't want done against them. And that's part of the problem when you trust someone like Donald Trump. And I'm going to show that story to you in a few seconds. Because if you can recall, back on the campaign trail, Donald Trump said this to Hispanics in New Mexico.
As I was saying, I love the Hispanics. I love them. I love Hispanics, and they're hard workers, and boy, are they entrepreneurial, and they're great people, and they are warm. They are warm. Sometimes they're too warm, you want to know the truth. But you have to turn out the record numbers that we need in order to really demand a better future, and you have to go out, you have to vote. We want to win, win, win. We want to take care of the great state of New Mexico.
Oh, yes, he loves them, but yet his boys and girls over at ICE actually do this to U.S. citizens.
He's not even doing nothing wrong.
What you just saw were several clear violations of the Constitution. But in Alabama, federal officers are blowing through those limits. Americans like Leo are paying the price.
For days I felt dreadful. I felt terrible. I truly didn't want to work at all.
And then what does Donald Trump do? Well, of course, he does what he's always promised. He does every single thing to people that he claims has been done to him. So he goes and attacks a bunch of Democratic programs, except whoopsie poop, you might want to realize that a lot of the people who voted for you are actually going to get affected by that.
So we're closing up programs that are Democrat programs that we wanted to close up or that we never wanted to happen, and we're not going to let them come back. The Democrats are getting killed, and we're going to have a list of them on Friday. We're not closing up Republican programs because we think they work. So the Democrats are getting killed, but they're not telling the people about that. I say it, I haven't said it probably as bluntly as I just said it, but so we are closing up Democrat programs that we think that we disagree with, and they're never going to open again.
And in this breaking story, what really happens in the great state of Texas? Funny, don't hear Greg Abbott or any other elected official who has an R in front of their name talking about this very breaking story, because the people who helped put you in office are now turning their backs on you because, as the old cliche goes, you can't throw the baby out with the bathwater. And when you let Donald Trump and someone like him run without any guardrails, thanks Supreme Court, this is what happens in this story. Check this out.
Multiple Republicans revolt as Trump axes Hispanic grant. 6 House Republicans, who have all previously voiced opposition to diversity, equity, and inclusion (DEI) initiatives, are now revolting after a prominent DEI program was gutted by the Trump administration. In September, the Trump White House officially ended funding to racially discriminatory discretionary grant programs at minority-serving institutions, among which was a grant program for colleges and universities where at least 25% of the student body is Hispanic. For some House Republicans, however, the elimination of the prominent grant program serving education institutions with a sizable Hispanic student body was a bridge too far. They're not trying to reach a quota like DEI is doing, said Representative Tony Gonzalez, R. Texas, who himself co-sponsored legislation to eliminate federal DEI programs. Speaking in defense of the aforementioned grant program, the Washington Post reported Thursday, "They're just serving the communities in which they happen to live, which is what we want." Gonzalez is not alone in his rare break with Trump on this issue. He is joined by Representatives Maria Elvira Salazar, RFL, who has denounced wasteful DEI spending, Carlos Jimenez, RFL, who praised cuts to DEI programs, Juan Ciscomani, RAZ, who openly condemned DEI practices, and 3 other House Republicans, all of whom had voiced opposition to DEI practices in the past. The Republican lawmakers' plea to have the diversity grant program restored was met with deaf ears, however. When asked to comment on the matter, the White House referred questions from the Post to the Office of Management and Budget, which did not respond to the outlet's request for comment. Mike Madrid, a Republican political strategist, told the Post that the rebelling lawmakers' pleas to have the program restored were largely an effort to signal to their community, and with full knowledge that the pleas would go on unanswered in what he described as the group's rare break with Trump on any issue. They want to be able to say that they're advocating for the community, knowing that it's going to go absolutely nowhere, Madrid told the Post.
Yeah, and the key to that story is these are younger people. If you weren't paying attention, which is okay, along the way with Joe Rogan and Barron Trump and all the people of under, say, the 30-year-old crowd, a lot of the students who helped get Trump elected, a lot of what he is doing and sometimes isn't doing is exactly what's going to be damaging to them, especially even to their parents. And they are younger and more energetic than a 79-year-old clown with cankles. And this is going to come back and land right on your bad hair, Donald Trump. You guys have a good rest of your week and stay frosty.